And beginning with our top focus, Iranian state television has said that Israel has attacked Iran's Arak heavy water reactor after Israeli military warned people to evacuate the area around the reactor. The warning comes in social media posts which included a satellite image of the plant in a red circle like other warnings that preceded strikes in the region. According to the Israeli Defense Forces, 40 Air Force fighter jets struck dozens of military targets in Iran using over more than 100 munitions. The nuclear reactor in Arak was among the sites that was targeted by the Israeli military. In fact, the state TV report says that the nuclear facility had been evacuated after the IDF warning, so there was no damage to civilian areas around the reactor and that there was no radiation danger whatsoever. In fact, the heavy water reactor is located southwest of Tehran. Heavy water that helps cool nuclear reactors, but it produces plutoniums as a byproduct that can potentially be used in nuclear weapons as well. Iran currently operates several facilities to carry out various steps of the nuclear fuel cycle, which includes reactors for generating electricity and even conducting research for medical and industrial applications. Tehran has declared these facilities to the UN nuclear watchdog, and they have undergone inspections by the agency. Amid Israeli strikes on Iranian nuclear facilities, Qatar is reportedly closely monitoring radiation levels in the Gulf region. The Foreign Ministry spokesman has even expressed concern that prolonged escalation between the two countries could lead to unpredictable consequences. Parallelly, the United Nations nuclear watchdog has even confirmed that two Iranian centrifuge production facilities, the Tesa Karaj workshop and the Tehran Research Center, have been hit during Israeli strikes that were carried out on Wednesday. Additionally, he said that both sides were previously under IAEA monitoring and verification under Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action. Also note that it was just last week that the International Atomic Energy Agency had said that it had been informed by Iran that the Bushehr plant had not been targeted. Iran has a nuclear power plant at Bushehr on the Gulf coast, though its uranium enrichment facilities, which have been targeted by Israel, lie hundreds of kilometers inland. And joining us on the broadcast live from Tehran is Dr. Syed Imamian. He's assistant professor at Tehran Polytechnic. In fact, he's also been, he's founder and former director of the governance and policy think tank. Appreciate you joining us on the broadcast, Dr. Syed. First up, if you can give us ground updates, what is the situation looking like as Tehran has been the epicenter of attacks? If you can give us more details on how is the present situation looking like.
First of all, I would like to thank you for inviting me here. You know that we are now in the 6th days of the Israelis' war on Iran against all humanitarian and international law. And it was something expected by a country that run by an internationally wanted criminal. So they have started to strike several sites in Iran. Since last few days, they have targeted at least 3 hospitals and the main headquarters of our Iranian Red Cross, and they have killed several civilians and children and women, like they have done in last 2 years in everywhere, including Gaza and Lebanon. So that's the very fabric of that regime that is based on killing children and women. The situation in Tehran is Tehran is getting gradually adapted to the wartime situation. You know that Iranian has never been living in the wartime situation since at least 37 years ago, that the the then Iraq dictator Saddam Hussein imposed the war on Iran. Since then, Iran has been living in the peace, and you know that Iranians has a very rich civilization, like India. They have never invaded any country for more than 200
Mr.
years.
Syed, we will just come to the new plants in Iran in just a bit, but I would want to ask you about the involvement of the US per se, because Donald Trump for now has not been direct whether US will be directly involved in the conflict going forward or not. Your thoughts on how do you see this, whether US is going to involve itself directly or not, because let's not forget that US has been bolstering its presence in West Asia lately.
Yeah, actually, it depends on the Mr. Trump's commitment to his electoral campaign promises. He, if you remember, most of his constituency and the voters for Trump, they call themselves America First one. They voted Trump for his promises, including not to attacking any other country, not to continuing U.S. Direct involvement in any military conflict anymore. But at the same time, there is huge pressure on Trump by the Netanyahu and Israeli lobby from inside the U.S. and inside his campaign and his administration to convince him to enter in. I think if Trump is going to get in, it would be because of, first of all, his ego-seeking personality, and secondly, because of a lot of ideology, a kind of the Armageddonian ideology that we have been witnessing in Israel and in the U.S. in D.C.
Yes.
Just look at the letter that was sent to Trump, and Trump reposted it by the U.S. ambassador to Israel. It was very Armageddonian ideological kind of the admiration and admiration of the Trump. That you are the one that you need to get in. It's the historical moment for you. Some kind of the very, very ideologically biased ideas. But at the end of the day, Trump knows that if he get in, there would be a lot of damage and cost for the American bases in the region, and there would be also a lot of risks for Trump's and U.S. allies in the region, particularly with regards to the energy security in the region and with regards to the overall stability of the U.S. partners and U.S. military bases in the region. So Iran has been very clear that it's not, we are not favoring any direct involvement of the U.S. and we still prefer U.S. to play his role as peacekeeping, as mediator, as deal maker. But if Trump is going to go another road, I think Iran doesn't have any other option just to self-defense like Iran has done in last few days. And it is a very legitimate, internationally legitimate act from Iran because it has been invaded by Israel. And if the invasion will be accompanied by a huge military strike from the U.S., I think the U.S. targets will be another legitimate targets for Iranian retaliation. But let's hope that Trump will be committed to its electoral promises.
Right. And Dr. Syed, that's precisely why U.S. has been bolstering its presence in the region. But how do you see the role of Russia, which has close ties with Iran? In fact, Putin has also said that Iran for now has not approached Russia for help.
Actually, you know that Russia has been very much at the moment busy with its almost 3 years war with Ukraine. So we, as a country, that we have huge political relationship with several important countries, including Russia, China, India, and other friends. We are expecting them to be vocal against and condemning the aggression and the invasion and the war that has been imposed by Israelis. SCO has done a very good job. A collective statement came out, and Russia, China, and others have been very vocal. We know that India has been to some extent conservatives in that, but At the end of the day, we are in a very good political position. Politically, everyone is, at least from the SCO and some allies, are in the right side of the history compared to some Europeans, particularly Germany, they have been historically in the in the wrong side of the history, like what they did during the Holocaust and Nazi time. So I don't know why Germans are doing always staying in the very, very, very wrong side of the history. But at the end of the day, Iran still doesn't need or doesn't look for any military assistance. We know that while Israel is going to attack Iran with a lot of support by US weapons, but Israel is not going to win the war. The only thing is that if US is going to get in, it would be another situation, and Iran has been well prepared and a lot of options.
Mr. Sayed, just in continuation to that point, right? Like you mentioned that Iran does not want assistance from Russia. Does it mean that if Russia were to offer help, military assistance, Iran would rule that out as a possibility?
Actually, I'm not in any official position. I don't have any military information behind the scenes. I'm a think tanker and academics. But to be honest, I think Iran understands the Russian situation, that is not in a position to provide direct military assistance to Iran. Of course, something has been already established between Iran, Russia, Iran, China, Iran, other countries. Kind of the intelligence exchanging or something like that. So they are ongoing. But I think something new that we expect someone like China, like Russia or China, to get in directly, I think is not a part of the Iranian strategy now, because in exchange, Iran is not also looking for any other country to help directly Israelis in their invasion to Iran. Okay. So I think it's tit for tat kind of the strategy, that Iran is not looking to get anyone else in directly, not to provide any pretext for the others to get in directly in support of the Israelis. And if the war goes as it was in the last few days, I think there is no way for Israelis to win. And with regards to huge vulnerabilities that they have in terms of the size, in terms of the geographical location, I think they can't continue such kind of the retaliatory attacks from the Iranian side.
All right, point taken, Mr. Sayed Imamian. We'll have to leave it at that. Appreciate you joining us on the broadcast.
My pleasure. Thank you very much.